Where Lazarus is poor no longer, may you find eternal rest. My brothers and sisters, in our gospel reading today, we read about the rich man and the poor man, Lazarus. Of course, in Jesus' parable, he sets it up that the rich man practically trips out of his door upon the poor man. There's no way for him to not notice him. And even the dogs are kinder to Lazarus than the rich man. Then they both die. And of course, the poor man goes up, the rich man goes down. And we read how the rich man is complaining from hell, basically, about the torments and wants Lazarus to serve him and bring him water. Then he wants Lazarus to go to his brothers to warn them about the ways and the errors that he himself lived his life, leading his younger brothers into sin. But notice in this reading, we have for us a very powerful witness. Because there's so many people today that say that all you have to do is believe in Jesus. Doesn't matter how you live, doesn't matter what you do, but it does matter. St. Paul tells us that we demonstrate our faith via our works. It's not that our works, our charity earns heaven for us, but without charity, without us truly living the faith for others, we ain't gonna make it. And that really is the message today. Jesus gives us Lazaruses in our lives to love, to care for. And by caring for them, by loving them, we come to see the face of Christ. But more than that, we come to be transformed. Because a river transforms a riverbed not by stagnant, still water, but by flowing water. And so too our faith. Unless it's flowing through us, we will not be transformed. Our rough edges will not be smoothed out, if you will, and we will not be ready to truly receive the gift of faith that Christ is giving us bit by bit. Thus, this parable serves for us a great warning, because if we live a selfish life in this world, keeping material riches to ourselves, keeping what God has entrusted to us to ourselves, the faith will not transform us. We will not become who we are meant to be. Thus, we will not be open to the gift of heaven. Notice how poor Lazarus is raised up, that via his sufferings, he is able to receive the gift of heaven. And you see this in so many people. In parishes, so many times the strongest faith in the parish are those people who have suffered the most. And there is no accident here, because when we participate in the injustices of Christ's cross personally, that is a transformative moment where God gives us His superabundant graces in recompense to make up what is lacking in the injustice. I can tell you as a pastor, I'm amazed at the faith of people who have suffered and gotten kicked around in this life. Those Lazaruses are truly beautiful examples to each of us. But here's the thing. We are all Lazarus in some way, and we are all the rich man in some way too. Are we allowing our experiences of poverty to form us and shape us, just like we are eager and willing to serve the Lazaruses in our midst, that God's grace may transform us and allow us to become who we're truly meant to be? Our world tells us that we should identify as victims and that we should always feel entitled, if you will, because of the injustices of our lives. Lazarus didn't feel entitled here. He didn't play the victim card in heaven. In fact, we really don't hear Lazarus in heaven. Maybe he would have been willing to go help the rich man. I bet so. He would have been willing to cross the chasm if Father Abraham had let him. He would have been willing to come back down to help the siblings of the man that should have loved him, because he himself knows what it's like to not be loved. And so in this gospel reading, it really does cut both ways. Both in our experiences of poverty, we are called to be more open to God's love and to loving others. But even in our riches, we are not called to hoard them and to see them as ours like we're in a starvation diet, but generously offer them to others, recognizing that God's grace transforms us when we are a conduit. The last thing to mention here is the rich man thought he had it all in this life, but he didn't. See, this is a problem with Jesus' parables. We don't get the rest of the story. We don't get all these other details. But you look at so many people who live for fame and fortune, who live only for themselves. There is a real depravity in their lives, where the people who are missing things because of the injustice in this world have the things that count the most. My brothers and sisters, for each of us, we are called to choose to be poor. We are called to choose to empty ourselves out for one another, that they may truly know Christ's love. But in doing so, we receive that tenfold back. So as we live this week, let us be mindful that we are called to look out for the Lazaruses, but that us as Lazarus as well are called not to be bitter and resentful, but in each way we are called to be open to God's grace, that it may transform us and lead us to our true home. God bless you. Magnificat anima mea Dominum. My soul magnifies the greatness of the Lord.